So I had an absolutely wild idea for Andor Season 2. While I'm not one to advocate for cameos in a show that really doesn't need any, a picture of Caroline Blakiston, the original Mon Mothma from Return of the Jedi, was circulating online, and I just had a little thought. Considering how far the character has come in recent years, and with Genevieve O'Reilly playing the younger version of the character since 2005, what if they got the OG, Caroline Blakiston, to cameo in Andor's final season? She should play Mon Mothma's mother, Tanis, and the perfect event and location is Leader Mothma's wedding on Chandrila, Mon's daughter and Tanis' granddaughter. It could be such a lovely way to honour the actress's contributions to Star Wars in the original trilogy, and feature both Mothmas in the same show. And you might say, well, she's 92 years old. While that's true, she's still involved in the Star Wars fan community, and she even asked George Lucas back in 2005 to play Mon Mothma's grandmother in Revenge of the Sith, and she never got a response. But now we have a show that concerns all of Mon Mothma's family. If she's up to it, she should have been offered to play a cameo. And in case you don't know, Tanis Mothma has existed in the Star Wars universe since the 1990s, but she was finally made canon in the novelization of Rogue One, so she already kind of has connections to this show. She was the governor of the Chandrilan capital Hana City, and her husband, Mon's dad, once served the Galactic Republic. If we ever saw this interaction between Mon and her parents, I wonder if they have disagreements over politics. Mon is about to walk away from her family, from her husband Perrin, from their daughter Leader, and she's going to found the Rebel Alliance. And according to many ex-Republic senators who became integrated as part of the Empire, her politics were considered too extreme. But she still might get along with her parents, because as we know, Chandrila was listed as a rebellion safe world. By one BBY, Mon Mothma realised she couldn't have biases towards any one world, and so despite pressure from fellow Chandrilans, she refused to prioritise her own planet in terms of resources and aid. Of course, further down the timeline, after the Galactic Civil War, Chandrila was established as the capital of the New Republic. And another fun fact, Tanis is the one who taught Mon Mothma how to govern, administer, and lead. Mon often referenced her mother when asked where she got her diplomatic skills from. And let's be real here, guys, the story of both Mon Mothmas is pretty insane. When filming Return of the Jedi, Caroline Blakiston had troubles with her script. During the Rebel briefing scene, she found certain words very difficult, especially pronunciations of certain words like Bothan. While in production, pigeons, that's right, pigeons, roosted on set and made so much noise they had to re-record her dialogue. Fast forward to 2005, Revenge of the Sith. Genevieve O'Reilly was cast to portray the younger version. The scenes in which she appeared never made it to the final cut. Famously called the Delegation of the 2000, senators who had doubts, worries, and concerns about Palpatine's emergency powers. And while O'Reilly does appear in one scene in the final cut, she doesn't have a speaking role in it. So in my opinion, my dear friends, they should do the legacy of the character justice and bring back Blakiston for a cameo as Mon's mum. Just my thoughts. If we do see Hana City in Andor, it might be the first time we see it in live action, but not in general Star Wars TV media. Because believe it or not, it appeared in the most unlikely place, in the shorts titled I'm Your Mother in Star Wars Visions. What's really funny is that I suggested this exact cameo on Twitter, and I had a response saying, it breaks canon. How can you have a Star Wars actor playing two different characters? They've done it so many times. Jeremy Bulloch had a cameo in Revenge of the Sith. Andy Serkis played both Snoke and Kino Loy. It's not too crazy, and at least it's still the Mothma family. And you know, while we're on the subject of Andor Season 2, on IMDb there have been a few additions, a few little updates, which don't spoil too much, but they do give us the general overview of who might be in each episode. And one or two of these are pretty funny, because they use the codename for the character instead of their real name. I'm not talking about the main cast, but then there are a few like this. Andy M. Milligan is portraying Minnesota farmer. Obviously that's a mistake. I don't think they're going to canonize a planet called Minnesota. It might just have been the description of his character on the script. He might be someone on the Dantooine looking planet. After that teaser trailer came out and everyone said, surely that's Dantooine. If you guys remember in episode 12, the final episode of the first season, Cassian mentions the place he's sending Bix to. It's not Dantooine, it's a place called Ganji Moon. But you know, considering we're talking about the early rebellion, Dantooine isn't a bad guess. In a sense, it kind of has to at least be referenced in season 2. but Ganji Moon is a location that Cassian sends some of his friends on Ferrix. He informs Jezzy, one of his late mother's friends, to go beyond the Farside Sea, so he gave them directions to the nearby moon. I'm so excited for Andor Season 2, guys. I'm hoping this is the week we finally get a trailer. I'm recording this on Sunday the 16th of February, so if you're watching this on Monday, hopefully it's coming soon. The show is in 65 days' time. You'd think they'd start marketing it soon. Lucasfilm really does frustrate us sometimes with their strategies and the way they leave things very late. I've spoken about the importance of Andor Season 2, how I think they really need a win in terms of viewership, so it is kind of baffling they've not started that marketing train just yet. They should have had posters, a few blurbs, social media engagement, and of course the most essential component, something of a teaser trailer by now. And in light of recent analytics, you would think Disney and Lucasfilm want to maximize their outreach. You'd think they do everything they can to give Andor Season 2 the best fighting chance. But there's also something else which ties into Andor which we do need to talk about. It's going to sound very reductionist, but it's an important point. Disney Plus as a platform is just not as engaging and enticing as something like Netflix. This person puts it best. Any of the Star Wars shows, and they say Acolyte included, but I guess that's up for debate, would absolutely kill on Netflix. It's insane to me that Disney isn't shopping the shows that aren't doing as well to Netflix or Max or Prime. Nobody checks Disney Plus for new shows because they barely have any. And I've heard this so many times in our own community. It's a vast archive of content for kids and family movies, which is good, which is why it's starting to make a yearly profit, but it's not a good environment for new stuff to thrive. If they want to compete with Netflix, fully merge Hulu with Disney Plus, and add or release stuff every week. This is such a good point, really concisely written. You log on to Disney Plus, and the interface is not as user-friendly. It's not as much of an algorithm. It's pretty static. It's mostly a back catalogue of things we already know. But you go onto Netflix, it's actively giving you brand new suggestions, they're adding stuff all the time, and they're brilliant with personalization, a wide range of genres, and recommendations. They do such a good job of organizing their vast library of content into categories. The caliber of functionality is so much better on Netflix. It just blows my mind. Ahead of the second season of Andor, they haven't leased the first season to Netflix and other streaming services, just to get a wider audience, to cast a wider net. I don't know what they're doing, guys, but I'm excited for Andor Season 2, and hopefully the viewership is better. So share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, guys, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you, always.